Someone wrote it and said, I can't get fully erect or orgasm without porn. I'm really concerned. What can I do?
Cathy Bartoli from the intimacydojo.com.
And Reid from readaboutsex.com.
We love when you leave comments and email us questions. Thank you for that. Well, there is a really good book that I like called, I want to say it's Sex Outside the Lines or Between the Lines. And now I'm not going to remember it.
Yeah.
So you talk. I'll think about this for a minute. It's Chris Donahue or O'Donnell.
Yeah, I've heard him speak. He's great.
We'll put it in the link because obviously I'm having a brain fart. The challenge with porn and not being able to get erect, that kind of stuff, not being able to orgasm, there could be a lot of different reasons. So in a 4-minute YouTube video, we're not going to diagnose you. Or
we couldn't anyway because
we're not doctors. If you haven't already figured that out. And so the idea is what we do know about brains and brain plasticity and geeking out on nerdy brain things is that most human beings are very capable of rewiring and kind of calibrating their nervous system. And so there is something that maybe 50 years ago was a death sentence. You can totally change and shift. My big bit of advice is how can we approach, giving you more choice and freedom in your life in a way that doesn't shame you, doesn't create more guilt and fuckeduppery, and actually has you feel good about yourself and alive as a human being.
I don't think there's anything wrong at all with enjoying porn, but when it becomes a crutch that you need to move forward, it's good to have choice. I think it's somewhat just like watching, I don't know if you've ever played a lot of video games, but I played in grad school for 24 hours with some friends, and I walked out and I was kind of in that space, and it was really hard for me to ground and be part because there was so much stimulation and drama and things going on. It just took me a while to get back in my body and kind of notice what I was feeling rather than what was coming at me. Yeah. So sometimes some people recommend that just not turning it off and spending an hour just getting to know your body and just touching yourself and feeling what feels good, and allowing yourself to stay present rather than going to the fantasy or the remembering the porn and the activity there. Just actually being present with your body. And it's challenging at first, but just like any exercise, a little practice and you might start finding that it's really pleasurable. And it's nice to have variety in there.
The thing that I'm going to point people away from is any kind of situation where, the conversation is really around porn addiction, which tends to bring in more shame and blame.
Or sex addiction.
Sex addiction. Not that those programs aren't often freeing and really helpful for people. I did Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous for a year, and I found it to be a wonderful program, and it helped me a lot with self-esteem issues. But when we start geeking out on what do you find erotic, what are you anchoring your eroticism to? Do you have any kind of practice or ability to be in your body and to find erotic, actual real time in meat space, sex with another human being or masturbation with yourself? Because again, I don't want to make fantasy wrong, but where can we create more choice and permission and then more coordination and more fun and play for ourselves and ways to anchor and develop abilities where we can connect with other human beings if we want to. Because again, I don't want to shame people out there who aren't really interested in being with anybody, have a great, amazing, erotic life solo, and are enjoying the hell out of porn and all of that. But because of the question and how it was presented to us, I'm kind of answering it from that direction. I'm really interested in giving people ways to figure out and enhance their life and give them more choice in ways that aren't shame-ridden and making you feel guilty and blamed.
Yeah.
And sometimes the solutions are simple and not easy to implement because it might take time, and some of us are really great at taking on a practice, and some of us don't have the lives for that. A lot of people are neurologically diverse, all kinds of stuff going on. So complex sometimes, but hopefully this advice is useful for you, and we and other people in our peer community are making the adventure and the journey fun.
Yeah. So if you can let go of the shame and see, check out, we'll put the link for the book below. Just talk to people about it. Mm-hmm. And getting rid of the shame, I think, is one of the biggest first steps.
Yeah, and getting into your body.
Yes. Thanks so much for asking. We hope this helped.
Comments? Cool.
Thanks for tuning in, Sex Geek. If you would like to continue with the brain sex, do me a favor and click subscribe right here. If you'd like to watch me on social media, that's where you're going to go. Next video, maybe? And if you really would like your own Sex Geek t-shirt, please click right here, right now. Boop. No, really, like...